said. "I just missed you," she said. "I left around 2:30. He smiled. "Why so early?" It was a significant part of Danny's job to hit the late-night New York hotspots and then write about celebrity sightings. She also would have been responsible for hitting the New Jersey hotspots, but unfortunately, New Jersey was a hotspot-free zone. She shrugged. It was a movie premiere, and the film was so bad that nobody wanted to hang around late at the party afterwards. You should have come. To the bad movie or the dreary party? Danny was always inviting Chris to things and couching it as a work function, not a date. "It wasn't that bad," she said. "I got plenty of stuff to write about." Danny managed to be constantly upbeat without falling into the dreaded perky category. Part of this was because it's tough to categorize a 5'11" woman as perky, but mostly it was because she combined her natural optimism with an obvious intelligence. She felt that at any one moment in hers or anyone's life there were good and bad things going on. She made a conscious effort to focus on the former, while remaining realistic about the latter. "Maybe next time," Chris said. Even though he didn't have a girlfriend at the moment, one thing Chris's life was not lacking for was female companionship. As a good-looking, single, heterosexual 30-something, he was doing reasonably well in that department. Danny was definitely someone he found attractive, but he just felt that to start a relationship in the newsroom was to invite disaster. They flirted occasionally, nothing serious, and nothing he planned to act on. "Yeah, right," she said, knowing better. "Good piece you wrote, though. What a way to die, lying there on a cold street, killed by a son of a bitch who didn't even have the decency to stop." Chris could hear the anger in Danny's voice, and though he had heard it a number of times before as she railed against some injustice, it always surprised him. "What would you do if you got your hands on that guy?" he asked. "They would need dental records to identify him," she said, and then smiled. The phone rang and she picked it up. "News desk, Cooper here." She listened for a moment, then asked who was calling. After hearing the answer, she handed the phone to Chris. "Who is it?" he asked. She smiled. "A concerned citizen?" Chris took the phone and said, "Turley." The male voice on the other end said, "Mr. Turley, is this really you?" "I'm afraid so." "I'm a big fan of your work. Your writing is terrific." "Thank you," Chris said. "How can I help you?" "Actually, I think I can help you. I've got a pretty big story for you to write about." Chris frowned for Danny's benefit, as a way of telling her that he was talking to a loser. "Really?" Chris asked, trying to sound interested. "What might that be?" "It's about corruption by a high-level government official, and I can prove every bit of it." "I'll need specifics," Chris says. "I've got them. When can we meet?" "Why do we have to meet?" Chris asked. "Why don't you just tell me about it?" "I've got documents. We definitely need to meet," the man said. "It will just take a few minutes." When Chris hesitated, he continued. "Believe me, Mr. Turley, this will be worth your while. I wouldn't waste your time." "Okay, you want to come here?" "No, I don't want to be seen there. I want to do this anonymously." Chris rolled his eyes for Danny's benefit, but decided he might as well find out what the man had to say. They finally settled on a park in Teaneck across from a small medical office building at 2:30 that afternoon. Chris knew where it was because he had been to an orthopedist in that building for a basketball-related knee injury. "You won't be late, will you?" the man asked. "I'm a little nervous about this." "I'll be there," Chris said, and then hung up. "Thanks a lot," he said sarcastically to Danny. "Sorry, but when he said it was a concerned citizen, I thought he was joking and that he was a friend of yours," Danny said. "I guess not, huh?" "No, but don't worry about it. Maybe it'll turn out to be something." Danny nodded. "Right, I mean, this is how Watergate started." "No, Watergate started with a break-in at Democratic Party headquarters." "But Deep Throat was also a concerned citizen," she persisted. He shook his head. "No, Deep Throat was the number 2 man at the FBI." "You're not going to give an inch on this, are you?" He smiled. "I'm not planning to, no." This back and forth was typical of the banter between them, with the